Hello everyone and welcome to the first episode of 30 years of Jurassic Park, a celebration of 30 years of our favourite film and a closer look at the actual paleontology of the dinosaurs present in the film thanks to information provided by our friends at Everything Dinosaur. Today we're taking a look at the Powerful Parasaurolophus, an animal which many fans may have missed in the original Jurassic Park. Let's dive in. The Parasaurolophus is a blink and you'll miss it addition to the roster of dinosaurs in the first Jurassic Park, only appearing in the lake sequence when we are first introduced to the concept of the park. The Parasaurolophus appears in low resolution across the lake and is never seen up close in the film. When I interviewed Ty Ruben Ellingson about the film, I mentioned the para and discovered that this was just a 2D image present in the film. The visual design of the animals in Jurassic Park appears similar to the InGen design seen on Isla Sorna as a part of Jurassic Park 3, creating a cool callback to the original film. So that's how the Parasaurolophus appears in Jurassic Park, but how would this animal behave and what would it be like in the real world? Thanks to Everything Dinosaur we have some idea of the science behind the Parasaurolophus. They're moving in herds. They do move in herds. Parasaurolophus might only have very limited screen time in the film, but their presence in that iconic panoramic scene conveys some very important messages to the audience about these types of dinosaurs. Firstly, they are not in the lake but visiting the lake to get a drink. Up until the 1960s and even into the 1970s, duck-billed dinosaurs such as Parasaurolophus were thought to be semi-aquatic. The Parasaurolophus sequence immediately dispels this idea of swamp-dwelling hadrosaurids. These are terrestrial animals. There is a group of them, there's a herd, an observation made by Dr. Alan Grant when he says they're moving in herds. These are not solitary animals, they have formed a herd, which implies these are social animals capable of complicated behaviours and interactions. Animals of different sizes are shown in the clip, presumably juveniles and adults together, implying that these dinosaurs looked after their young. They didn't just lay eggs and abandon them, the adults invested in their offspring and raised them. Behaviours more associated with mammals and birds than associated with dinosaurs in the eyes of the cinema-going public. Although it is difficult to spot in the film footage, I think many of the smaller herd members sport smaller crests. These types of hadrosaurs, ones with flamboyant crests, are members of the Lambeosaurine subfamily of duck-billed dinosaurs. Paleontologists now know that these crests changed and became more prominent as these reptiles grew and matured. In addition, the animals appear to be vocalizing, communicating with each other. The film soundtrack incorporates various bellows and honks, some of which presumably come from the Parasaurolophus. Arguably, some of the sounds made by the dinosaurs in the film, such as the immense roars associated with the carnivores, may not stand up to scientific scrutiny, but this sequence does show dinosaurs producing sounds and communicating through sound. Parasaurolophus may only have a minor role, but its fleeting screen appearance sets the scene for what is to come in the rest of the film, and vividly demonstrates how our perception of the dinosauria has radically changed. So, we understand the Parasaurolophus a little more now, but what toys existed in the classic Kenner toy line? Thanks to jptoys.com and Jurassic Wiki, we can get a closer look. The Parasaurolophus appeared in Series 2 of the original Jurassic Park line, released in 1994, and this was a small version of the animal as a pack-in with the Tim Murphy figure. A larger version of the Parasaurolophus didn't join the toy line until 1997, when the Kenner Parasaurolophus was released with Electronic Attack Raw to join the Lost World line. Of course, flash forward a few years and we finally have a gorgeous Hammond Collection Parasaurolophus, which could perhaps benefit from a Jurassic Park repaint from Mattel at some point down the line. Unsurprisingly, a dinosaur which has a brief cameo in the first film also appeared to have an even briefer cameo in the toy line, despite its more pronounced appearance in the 1997 sequel. As carriers of all things dinosaur, we thought we'd ask Everything Dinosaur what some of their favourite Parasaurolophus toys are, taking into account accuracy and also a little nostalgia for the Jurassic line. Here's what they said. Parasaurolophus tends to be incorporated within the model ranges of most of the mainstream manufacturers. As such, collectors have a wide choice of Parasaurolophus figures to choose from. Most replicas depict that prominent crest without a flap of skin, joining the crest to the back of the head. Hopefully further research and more fossil discoveries, particularly of the so-called mummified specimens, will provide definitive proof as to the crest structure as well as the presence of hooves or otherwise on the front feet. Collector introduced a 140 scale Parasaurolophus figure back in 2013. It has deep, powerful tail, and the head and the crest have been painted in bright colours, giving a nod to visual communication, and at this pricing point this figure represents an attractive purchase. If you wanted to spend a little bit more, however, then you might want to consider a Parasaurolophus figure in 135 scale from Nanmu Studio. This Chinese manufacturer has been heavily influenced by the Jurassic Park franchise, and they recently introduced a Parasaurolophus figure entitled Nutcracker. This model, complete with its own display base, comes in two colour variants, green and brown. Nanmu Studio did add a third Parasaurolophus figure, produced as a limited edition polystone replica of a car case, and this model was entitled Nutcracker Soldier. Only a few have been made and it is unlikely to be produced again once the first production run has been sold, but the corpse does show lots of beautiful anatomical detail. It is going to be increasingly difficult to get hold of this, and this replica is likely to become quite rare. However, if you want to use this piece as a part of a larger diorama with a theropod, or indeed as an unusual element with your model collection, then we do recommend this figure. We hope you enjoyed a closer look at the on-screen appearance, scientific background and merchandise surrounding the powerful Parasaurolophus from Jurassic Park. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss our next episode, and stay tuned for the tremendous Triceratops debuting at the same time next week. Massive thanks to Everything Dinosaur for supporting this series. Make sure to check their website out at www.everythingdinosaur.com.